sacrificed a lot, but this fight ain't over.
There are only 3 episodes left in the 1923 saga, and I believe we all know what it means. It means that things are about to get unhinged in the Dutton Ranch, as Spencer finally returns home and is ready to fight, so let's talk about it. Oh man, where to start? Well, first of all, I've been rooting for Spencer all season. That being said, I have to admit I've been a little frustrated with how his storyline has been going so far. It's almost like he's been spinning his wheels, caught in this never-ending cycle of planning to get back to Montana but never actually getting there. Like, he has been just a tool to explore the important historical figures and events of the era. I mean, he met the famous Italian mafia family, he discovered pizza, he witnessed the Prohibition's terrifying conservative women's groups, and he met a female marshal. That's it. That's all he has done so far. There has been little to no improvement in his arc other than him meeting these people and repeating the same lines that he needs to return to Montana over and over again. And yes, I'm tired. So imagine my relief when I thought that episode 6 would be where Spencer finally returns to Montana. However, after looking at the episode descriptions for the upcoming episodes, I realized Spencer will be arriving in episode 7 because this is what the episode synopsis says. Jacob and his crew eagerly await Spencer's return at the train station. I mean, at the end of episode 5, we see Spencer informing the Montana sheriff that he is on his way and is ready to start a fight. And yes, he had no issues with ignoring all the warnings of the sheriff. Instead, he rushed into the very next train to Montana. In episode 6, we may witness his adventures on the train for a bit. In the trailer, we see him running across the wagon with a very angry face. I'm guessing that he will be a victim of yet another robbery attempt, which seems to be the trendiest occupation in the 1920s because everyone seems to be eyeing the other's possessions. Anyway, another idea that I saw in the online communities is that Donald will send one of his men to the train to stop Spencer even before his landing in Montana. In other words, one of Donald's men will try to kill Spencer only to be killed himself in the end, and I'm absolutely ready for that. At the end of the episode, Spencer may reach Montana but is being welcomed by Jacob, and his men, as the synopsis suggests, will be allocated to episode 7. The thing is, even though Jacob and his men are more than excited to welcome Spencer, they are not the only ones who are waiting for Spencer in the train station, because Donald and Banner did their best to get prepared for Spencer's arrival after they were informed of it. I know in a previous video I said the sheriff would go to Jacob and Kara first, but a lot of you in the comments noted that you don't really trust him, so it is possible that he goes to Donald first to tell him about Spencer's arrival. He himself does rush to Jacob later, asking him to stop Spencer from arriving simply to keep peace in Montana, but as we know from the trailer, Jacob's answer will not be very positive, as he will remind the sheriff that Donald is the one who starts the war, as he's the one who is actively trying to steal their ranch. Not getting the answer he hoped for from Jacob, the sheriff will return to prepare his own team of officers to stop the two sides fight as much as possible. So when Spencer finally arrives, he will be welcomed by not only Jacob, but also Donald's army, and of course, the officers who are ready to put an end to any conflict. I don't know about you guys, but I'm extremely worried about our tired Spencer. The fight itself will be explored in episode 7, as I mentioned, so there's still some time to speculate further on that. By the way, I just heard that through this gunfight, we will get the origin story of the infamous train station lore in Yellowstone. Spoilers, it is about that cliff Banner was throwing that poor S-worker's body without any mercy. And yes, this origin story is as tragic as you would expect. But as I said, we will discuss all these in detail after next week's episode. Anyway, back to episode 6. Now, since Spencer arrives in Montana, it's time for Alexandra to reach the land as well, right? Wrong. Don't worry though, based on the episode's description, we know that she will have time to breathe finally, as the British family that saved her will provide her with some peace. Still though, she needs money to catch up on the next train to Montana. The thing is, this season follows a pattern in which it focuses on Alexandra in one episode, only to completely ignore her storyline in the next one. Since we watched her story in detail in episode 5, I expect little to no scenes with her in episode 6, so we will see her in peace for once and that's it. As I said, we know she needs the money, and we can already guess that her health is not in a very good condition, and the family she is with will insist on a doctor's examination once they find out that she's pregnant. Well, that will be the part where things will go truly downhill for her, because many people expect her to either lose the baby or get ill herself before even arriving in Montana. Here's the thing, if she eventually does end up making it to Montana, it's going to be the best thing that we have ever seen in the Yellowstone franchise. But honestly, with the way things have been going, I can't help but feel that we're in for a gut-punching twist. The show has been setting up a tragic conclusion for her character for a while now, and I can't shake the feeling that her journey might end before she even has the chance to meet Spencer again. I really hope I'm wrong though. Now, on to Tiona. After everything she's been through, I really think she's reached a turning point. Based on her profound remarks in episode 5, it's almost like she's realizing that no matter what, she can't keep running from the consequences of her actions. She's done so much to protect herself and the ones she loves, but now it feels like the walls are closing in and she has to decide whether she'll keep running or stand her ground. To me, those words were basically foreshadowing. In other words, I absolutely expect her to take matters into her own hands in the next episode and, instead of running, kill Father Reno for good. Although the actor playing Father Reno is included in the credits for episode 7, so this revenge may not take place until the final episode. So the hunter will be hunted in the end, and of course, the trigger for this will be the news of Pete's killing. Tiona will finally have had it enough after hearing that her young lover has died brutally, and now it's time for her to take her revenge. By the way, Mamie Fawcett is expected to be the one delivering the news to Tiona, but we will see. Watch this video to get a more detailed analysis of episode 6 of the hit show.